The Joplin City Council tonight will discuss the possibility of another mask mandate.
Both the Biden and Trump administrations are talking about their plans to stop the spread of COVID. I'm Michael George in Wilmington, Delaware with the details and the president-elect's considerations for key cabinet positions.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin City Council is holding a special meeting tonight to discuss two things. One of those is a possible new mask mandate. This is KOAM News at 5. KOAM's Chris Warner joins us live from Joplin City Hall with the latest.
Well, that special meeting is set to begin at 6 o'clock in the 5th floor council chambers. Now, this meeting comes after Mayor Ryan Stanley received approval from council to reach out to other community leaders about their plans following a letter from the healthcare community calling for local mask mandates. Now, back in August, the city allowed the original mandate to expire. However, COVID-19 cases have been on the rise, and that prompted healthcare leaders to issue a letter to communities in the area asking them to implement mask mandates. Mayor Stanley responded in a letter Tuesday saying the city is aware the cases are on the rise and would be speaking with neighboring city and county officials, and then that information will be presented to the city council. We spoke with those who are both for and against the mandate.
We've said everything. We've talked about the science. We've talked about freedom and liberty. We've showed them everything, that all the information, and they just kind of stare at us and go ahead with what they want to do.
For me personally, it's a common courtesy action. You know, the wearing a face mask. I don't know anybody who enjoys doing it whatsoever, but they do it out of common courtesy to help slow down the transmission of COVID, so that way our hospitals around here can catch up with the workload.
Now, again, that meeting is set to get underway at 6 o'clock tonight. We'll have the latest as the meeting progresses. Reporting live from City Hall, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Chris, thanks. We'll check back with you at 6. The Jasper County Health Department is reporting another COVID-19 related death. Officials say the patient was a man in his 80s. This is the 70th death in Jasper County. Kansas counties are contemplating mask mandates again after the governor issues a second executive order. Governor Kelly issued a new mask mandate yesterday, giving counties that don't have mandates 7 days to draft their own alternatives or opt out. Crawford County does have a mask order, and Allen County let the governor's order in July take effect, but has not done much for enforcement. Tonight, the Neosho County Commission is working on their own plans after deciding to opt into the July mandate.
I wish our people here would look at that today and treat it as your patriotic duty to mask mandate, and not feel that we're going against your personal rights. Even though I agree, that's why I opted out the last time. I felt it was going against personal rights. This is not communism. We're not trying to dictate anything. We're trying to save lives.
We're going to hear more about other counties' plans tonight at 6. Doug Heddy joins us now. Very windy out there.
Yeah, once again, extremely windy across the region, but we have had pretty much clear skies throughout the day, mostly sunny skies for us, and it looks like we'll see clear skies through the evening, and then clouds will start to increase a little bit later on tonight with our next storm system, which is brewing out to the west. Already you can see a cold front that is setting up across central parts of Kansas, and as that works in and we get a little bit of moisture, we'll start to see rain chances increasing tomorrow. Temperature is great, most of us right around 70, but again we have those strong south winds sustain about 15 to 25, and then we've been getting gusts, which have been quite a bit higher than that throughout the day. We've had winds gusting 50 to 55, even 58 miles per hour. You can see in Pittsburgh a few hours ago. We'll drop back through the 60s. We'll only drop to about 58 tonight. We'll look at this next storm system here in just a bit.
All right, see you soon. President-elect Biden and the current Vice President Pence are both focused on the coronavirus today. Meanwhile, President Trump is still focused on fighting the election results. Reporter Michael George has more details from the White House.
President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris met virtually with a bipartisan group of state governors as COVID cases surge across the country.
I want you to know that I will be your partner in in the White House.
CBS News has learned some current and former government officials have had limited contact with the Biden-Harris team. But the president-elect says the delay in a full transition could hamper his upcoming administration's response.
If my transition team hasn't been able to get access to information we need to be able to deal with everything from testing and guidance to the all-important issue of vaccines, distributions.
The pandemic is also front and center for Vice President Mike Pence, who led a second meeting this week of the coronavirus task force.
Here in Delaware, President-elect Biden and his team are starting to finalize their top contenders for cabinet positions.
People familiar with the process say Pete Buttigieg and Senator Bernie Sanders are being considered for roles. A top campaign advisor for global issues and former Deputy National Security Advisor Tony Blinken is said to be the frontrunner for Secretary of State. But President Trump and his legal team continue to focus on overturning the election results.
Joe Biden is in the lead because of the fraudulent ballots.
Georgia is close to releasing the results of its hand recount, which are expected to affirm President-elect Biden as the winner. Michael George, CBS News, Wilmington, Delaware.
CBS News has learned that top Republican Michigan state lawmakers will meet with the president at the White House tomorrow. Also on Friday, Wisconsin's two largest counties, which lean heavily Democratic, will begin a recount at the request of the Trump campaign. Australia's Defense Force has recommended an investigation into alleged unlawful killings in Afghanistan between 2009 and 2013. A report released yesterday alleges 39 killings of prisoners, farmers, or other civilians by 19 members of the Australian Special Forces. According to the chief of the Australian Defence Force, none of the crimes were described as being conducted in the heat of battle. Still ahead, the stress of the pandemic is leading a lot of teachers to consider early retirement, according to a new study. And next in Health Watch, how petting zoos are helping kids cope with stress during a lockdown. The United States has passed another grim milestone, more than 250,000 coronavirus deaths. The U.S. has had more than 11.6 million total cases. With cases, hospitalizations, and deaths all surging nationwide, federal health officials are out with a new recommendation strongly pushing against traveling this Thanksgiving holiday season. A new study examines why ethnic minority groups are at an increased risk for the coronavirus. Researchers at Harvard found the disparity could only be partially explained by medical issues such as asthma and diabetes disproportionately affecting minority groups. They also found racially biased attitudes within a community had a negative impact on the health and well-being of minority residents. Coronavirus has taken its toll on a lot of us, but for some it's had a serious impact on mental health. Reporter Ian Lee shows us how a care farm in England is helping kids cope during lockdown.
Sunshine and fresh air can sometimes be the best medicine, especially when you get to pet a donkey. With these wide open spaces, care farms can stay open during the pandemic, offering kids struggling with mental health issues a new start.
I had a lot of stress issues, high stress levels, quick fire snaps, anger.
Care farms aren't just petting zoos. Kids are put to work feeding chickens, building rabbit pens, and of course shoveling, well, you know what. And those who run the farm say it's making a real difference as England endures its second lockdown.
They couldn't take Zoom therapy sessions because they need a relationship with people. And when they came here, you could see that they were just so thankful.
Nursing student Abby Edmond knows what it's like to be in these kids' mud-covered boots. The farm gave her a lifeline when she was young.
I'd either be dead or in prison if it wasn't for this place.
She recalls finding a lot of open ears here.
The cow can't tell my secrets.
And care farms don't just care during the pandemic.
Loneliness and isolation. It's a pandemic at the moment on its own.
They help at-risk youth year-round, offering a dose of friendship to heal the heart. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Care farms are popular overseas. There are thousands in Europe. The concept is starting to catch on here in the U.S. too. A little bit later, Apple settles a lawsuit with 34 states over allegations it slowed down older iPhones.
Plus, our next storm system is getting ready to roll in. What does that mean for you? We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be another great day for us today. Very windy once again, winds gusting between 50 and 60 miles per hour at times, but no rain, and we've been mainly dry really since last week, but we have another storm system which is going to roll in over the next few days. So let's get caught up on rain stats for the month. About 1.5 inches of rain for the year, about 43. So we're about a half an inch above where we should be for this time of the year. Temperatures great again today, into the 70s. Most of us are sitting 69 to about 70 degrees across the region, but still very windy. Look at these south winds kicking in at about 15 to 25. They have lessened up just a little bit over the past couple hours, but we've had winds gusting 50, 55 throughout the afternoon hours. But the winds, they're still in the 40s, but at least they are going in the right direction, should, as we work through the overnight hours tonight. Pretty much clear skies looking east from the station. Currently sitting at 70, south winds at about 20. Humidity is at 42%. Through the evening hours, slow drop through the 60s, and eventually we'll bottom out 58 to about 60 later on tonight. Nothing going on here. Clear skies, but we do have the clouds increasing to our north. Here's that next wave. It's a weaker storm system. It's not a strong system by any means, but it will give us those rain chances over the next few days. And you can see this front, that wind shift line right across central Kansas. And as this front works in, gets a little Gulf moisture, that's when we're going to start to see some rain chances increasing. Let's go through time. We're going to go through the evening, the overnight hours. Clouds increase most of the night. We only drop back upper 50s. Cloudy skies tomorrow. Look at this front. So we're looking at about the noon hour. You can see it right across our northern counties. And then as we head into the afternoon, right along the front, it kind of shifts down near the I-44 corridor. We'll start to get a little bit of moisture. Some light showers will start to pop up in the afternoon, but I still think temperature is pretty good. 58 in the morning, 64 by noon, about 65 with those showers developing late in the day. Showers increase tomorrow evening. Here's 8 p.m. Now we have a northerly wind. Our temperature will start to drop back through the 50s. Here's early Saturday morning. You can see the light showers across the region continuing to increase. Here's 5:30 in the morning on Saturday, and then you can see just kind of a cool rain. Most of us in the 40s to lower 50s as we have showers, maybe even a rumble of thunder. So on and off showers throughout the day. Here's 3 p.m. on Saturday. So it's a weak system, but it is going to have enough moisture to give us some decent amounts of rain. A lot of areas will pick up an inch, maybe even upwards to 2 inches as we work through the next few days. Most of this rain is going to be out of here by the time we head into Sunday afternoon. And then on Monday, our next storm system rolls in, giving us chances for rain. Showers, even some thunderstorms on Tuesday. A lot of people travel on Wednesday. I think Wednesday is going to be okay. And then the clouds right back in for Thanksgiving, but at least temps are going to shape up pretty nice. 65 tomorrow, 51 Saturday, a high of only 50 on Sunday. Kind of a nasty weekend, rain chances Monday into Tuesday, but look at Thanksgiving. A lot of clouds, but 59, so not too bad.
Yeah, certainly nicer than we've seen on some Thanksgivings.
Absolutely.
In the past. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, fatigue from the pandemic could create an even bigger teacher shortage. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Dan Britton served in the U.S. Army in 1970 and 71. The Carl Junction, Missouri native was stationed in Vietnam, and we salute Staff Sergeant Dan Britton, a four-state hero. Apple has agreed to a $113 million settlement over it claims it slowed down older iPhones intentionally. It's part of a lawsuit brought by 34 states and Washington, D.C. It alleges the company misled consumers about software updates that purposely slowed iPhones to extend battery life. The deal is separate from a $500 million settlement earlier this year. Apple is cutting the amount of money it's taking from certain mobile apps. Developers who make less than $1 million a year from their app will now be charged 15% by the iPhone maker, down from 30%. Analysts estimate that fewer than 5% of all iOS developers make more than $1 million. The change comes as lawmakers and regulators eye Apple's dominance over the app market. It's already a tough job with low pay, but teachers are suffering even further in this pandemic. A survey of teachers nationwide finds 28% say they've considered retiring early or leaving the profession due to stress and health concerns. This comes when there is already a shortage of qualified teachers. Reporter Janet Shamlian reports.
It's like a snow day, but indefinitely.
High school teacher Matt Baker thought New York City public schools might close again, but didn't know for sure until Wednesday afternoon.
You're like running around your room, throwing whatever you can think of into a bag to make sure you have everything you might need, because we don't know when we're going back to the building.
Baker teaches at the Brooklyn Latin School. He worries 8 months into the pandemic, some students still don't have what they need for remote learning.
It's really hard because it's like, well, I can have the most amazing lessons and have great outreach, but if the DOE doesn't give them a laptop that can connect to the internet consistently, it's just soul crushing a little bit.
Schools across the country have implemented a patchwork of learning plans, but it's teachers faced with the pressure to carry them out. David Finkel's been teaching 29 years. He's never had one as stressful as this.
We are end of the year tired. We reach a point near the end of the year where you're like, wow, summer but it can't come soon enough. And we already feel that way.
Many of his high school English students are remote. Others are physically in the classroom. He's worried not only about the virus.
I'm doing my best to engage them and give them as much as I can, but I don't think they're getting as much as they usually get from me.
An Illinois Education Association study found 27% of surveyed teachers said they've considered giving it up because it's just too hard with distanced learning.
I don't want to leave teaching, but I also don't know when this is going to be better. I don't know when it's going to feel like I'm not making things worse.
Mariah Klein is teaching at the same suburban Chicago elementary school she attended as a child.
I felt such guilt of I could be the one that gets them sick. Or if I don't watch them carefully enough, they could get each other sick and bring it home.
What do you want parents and just the public to know about what teachers are facing right now?
We don't want to be seen like people who are saving the world by going in and doing our jobs. We just want people to understand that it is hard and that it's hard in a way that they don't know.
Chicago Public Schools have announced they will return to in-person learning in January. That announcement coming just as the Illinois governor announcing new restrictions in the state to control the virus. The decision on schools, though, being left up to individual districts. Janet Shamlian, CBS News, Chicago.
A recent study found 66% of teachers in Illinois say they're more burned out than usual. And in New York, yesterday's shutdown order is forcing teachers to pivot yet again. Final check of the forecast next. The CBS Evening News is next. Then on KOAM News at 6, Governor Mike Parson extends Missouri's state of emergency order. Plus, we're going to hear more from Southeast Kansas County officials about Governor Laura Kelly's new mask mandate. And the Webb City Cardinals get ready to face the Lebanon Yellow Jackets in the state football quarterfinals tomorrow. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Astronomers say they've solved a 16-year-old mystery. In 2004, the NASA Galaxy Evolution Explorer mission discovered what appeared to be a star surrounded by an ultraviolet ring about 6,300 light years away. Well, now researchers have determined it's a never-before-seen phase that occurs after two stars merge. They believe that a sun-like star crashed into and consumed a smaller star orbiting it thousands of years ago. Debris floating out from the merge created a disk of material that was then sliced and heated up, causing it to glow in ultraviolet light. Talk about things like this is difficult to comprehend or grasp.
How they figure that stuff out.
How they figure it out, and then the distances involved. The space is just mind-boggling. It's interesting, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of space out there.
Yes, yes, there is, no doubt. What's happening in our neck of the
All right, clouds
universe?
are going to increase. Light showers by tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be a wet, kind of soggy, cold, nasty weekend. Good weekend to stay indoors.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 6. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.